Today I'm just upset. Upset at the possibility that my cat could die to a curable disease. With known medication with high success rates. The fact that that medication isn't available at the actual pet hospital. The fact that I have to wait for it to get shipped for 3 to 5 days. The fact that for that to even start, that the doctor has to sign off just saying that they approve it. The fact that it took the doctor almost 2 days to do that while my little cat's health is declining. It finally got signed off on, and I don't know if I hope it's just 3 days, but I don't know if he can hold on for that long. Thankfully, we're gonna go, me and him, to the vet tomorrow for a Friday checkup. He seems really weak today. He's still moving, and occasionally I try to provoke a little movement out of him to see, like move his arm so he'll retract it back in, lift up his head so he'll slowly lower it. And I'm still syringe feeding him his food, mixed with the broth, mixed with the phosphate binder, mixed with the antibiotic at the right times. I'm upset because the other person bought me an air fryer instead of spending that money to save it for an IV. Instead of spending the $50 on the appetite stimulant that could be helping him eat right now. Instead spent those $50 on buying me an air fryer that I repeatedly told them that I do not need or want. Now it's just sitting there in the box, irritating me. Isn't it amazing how someone could spend all their time complaining about how they're in debt and that everything's so expensive and that they have a poor credit score and all constantly complaining about finances that I can literally see myself and know that the person is fine. How is it that person... I know how it is that person, but I'm just rhetorically asking. Spend $50 on something completely unnecessary that isn't even going to help in the way that they keep insisting. And the thing is that the person has been this person when they suddenly get hyperfixated on trying to get someone to use something. They'll start looking for any excuse, any reason to try and get it. Even when they finally do get it, and it's 99% of the time, they use it once, and that's it. And it just goes into a storage area, or it just goes into some place where it just sits and collects dust. Because that person wants to use it. And that's enough justification to find any reason to get it. Find any reason to force other people to also try and get it or use it. Only to find out that none of it was useful and that they ended up wasting a whole lot of time and energy while negatively impacting everything else. Because that person doesn't want to hear that what they wanted was not a good idea, or unnecessary, or not appropriate for the moment, or anything like that. And if they hear not right now, no, or if that's not great, that's not a great idea right now, or you need to hold on that. They take it as a challenge to their authority, and so then they do it just out of I wouldn't call it spite, but out of some get back, out of some emotional get back, out of some kind of well, now that you told me I can't, that means I'm gonna keep bringing it up and going after it, and using it against you any reason I can, until you finally relent and you do it the way I want, and then we finally do it, and it's just uses up space and energy. And this is a consistent thing. It's a pattern. A very consistent pattern. Even if you already know and you've done it before, which in pretty much all these cases, I already have. I've already tested things. I've already gone around. And after wasting a ton of time and energy and resources and causing damages and doing things that did not need to be done, making mistakes that have already been made and have been paid for, but because that person wants it. Out of pride, out of control, out of some ego. It's a little mix of all those aspects. It's not one or the other. I'm just upset. And now $50 on an air fryer for something that is actually slower than making it on the stove with a pan. I'm not gonna go into it right now. The person they get things for themselves and to stroke their own ego. And because you don't want it, now they have to do it. To try and show up. To try and show off, flex muscle. Try and show that there's some kind of power or something like that. You don't know what's good for you. That kind of thing. Or you're just resistant because you're afraid and you're turning it into some kind of job. That they'll come up with they'll try to tell you, the person will try to tell you what you think. You're just afraid. You're just obstinate. You just don't want to learn new things. You're just afraid of change. You're just all kinds of things. And it's no, because I've been through this already. And I know what's going to happen. I'm not even guessing here. I know we've had one of these before, and I already know. Alright, I'm not gonna get too consumed in that. But what are you doing spending $50 on an air fryer that is completely unnecessary? And this is why the person complains in the first place about being in debt or not having money or putting things on credit cards and all kinds of stuff, is because this person is constantly making these, well, why shouldn't I have this purchases? Or I deserve this, therefore I'm going to have it. Just absolutely no impulse control. Buying up things because I should have this. I deserve to have this. If anyone should have these things, it should be me, and I should be able to have them now. I've never seen that person be able to control themselves on a purchase. Upwards of thousands of dollars. And then the person complains later why they have no free cash left to spend and why they have to dip into credit cards and why they're still paying for stuff. And it's not hard to tell, it's entirely their choices, but that person wouldn't even begin to take responsibility or recognize it, or that they made a mistake or a bad choice, or that they could have just waited until they could afford it, and that they didn't need all of it right then and there in that time frame. It's because the person realized that they would look down on themselves if they didn't have it right then in that instant. It's just vanity. Every second of it is just vanity. And that person trying not to feel inferior to whatever image they have in their mind. And the rest of us having to bear the consequences of it. This is the same person who, this is the same person who sleeps in a heated blanket. And when they get too uncomfortable, when it gets too hot for them after they've set the blanket to maximum heat, when it gets uncomfortable for them, instead of just turning down the blanket or turning it off, or just uncovering themselves, they go and drop the temperature of the rest of the house until it's freezing cold in the middle of the night. And the person is completely unaware, just completely disconnected from the consequences of their own actions. And if you complain, if you addressed it at all, the person would always find some reason to deflect responsibility or just say, you can't talk to me like that, or things like that. No matter how you said it, whether it was polite or no matter what, if that person felt insecure for a second that they made a mistake, or quote unquote that they're not on the top of the hierarchy, or that you're trying to quote unquote parent or undermine them. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Everyone else is freezing. And the person is over here, oh, I'm hot. And instead of working, again, it's like an extension of how that person thinks. It's not me. It's not my fault I'm hot. It couldn't be me. It's the rest of the house that's the issue. So I'm just going to drop the rest of the house into freezing temperatures in the middle of winter so that I can cool off, instead of just turning off my heating blanket. And it's just a pattern that reflects into everything else that the person does, even until now. Thankfully, the doctor finally today put in the approval for the medication, so it's on its way. Don't know exactly when it will get here, or if my cat will last that long. And it just irritates me to no end that that person continues to be themselves. And that person will never change, most likely. It's the kind of person where they never get better. They just get smarter. So you have to just let the person do what they do so that they can't hide it. So that they never learn how to mask it. So that other people can see the kind of complete disconnect and harm that they're doing to other people, or the neglect that they're showing, the complete lack of empathy. And just this and then just texting me afterwards with that dumb little winky face. Enjoy the air fryer. It's like, return this and spend the $50 on his appetite stimulant so that he'll want to eat. Or save it up for his IV. It's just gonna irritate me. The next time I hear that person complaining about how they don't have money and how they have no savings, and I'm just gonna remember every little thing, every little unnecessary, unused, pointless thing that they got. Because they just wanted it. And that was enough. I want it, and now no one can tell me that I can't not have it. It just irritates me. It irritates me. I almost don't know what else to say. I really don't. I've just gotta keep him alive. Gotta keep him alive, and he has to stay holding on for at least 2 to 3 more days. He'll get his checkup tomorrow. Just hope he makes it through the night. I've just been staying in my bedroom, which isn't very far from the kitchen or the dining room. But I've just been staying in my bedroom this whole time, just laying next to him. I brought my computer in here so I can work on stuff. I can't draw at all. The only drawing I can do is just the doodles for the thumbnails as I'm waiting for audio to upload. So, and then I have to go to that work tomorrow, which means I'm going to have to leave him here. Oh yeah. And last night I got so preoccupied with taking care of him that I forgot to run the water through the drains. So the water froze, and it's below freezing all today until tomorrow, which means that right now I have no running water. I do have some other ways of getting water, but that's another pressure now. The day is cooling off. The hottest part of the day already passed, and it didn't thaw, so now I'm waiting on that. Thankfully, I refilled their water machine the other day for the other 4, and I have water saved up to keep feeding him through the syringe, and if I need water, I've got some extra. Just gotta make it until tomorrow when it gets warm enough that the pipes will thaw and water will come through again. So I'm just sitting here on my bed. Even though I brought my computer here, I just don't feel like there's much I can do. Just watching him, making sure that he's still moving and waiting for food time to come. What's it like having a family? I don't know. What's it like having friends who will come for you and come to you? I don't know. I don't know what that's like. I'm just alone. Taking care of all this. Thankfully, there's a shower place nearby that I can walk to and take a shower for work, so I don't have to worry about that. I just pack up a little bag of everything I need, walk over and shower. But every second I'm not in the house, I'm worried about leaving him here. Thankfully, he still shows me that he's moving and that he's, yeah. Oh, what is it? I've got you. I've got you. There you go. Put your little paw back under. There you go. Keep warm, kid. There you go. I don't know what else to say. It's kind of consumed my day. My worries today are the same worries that I had yesterday and the day before that, and oh, he has enough strength to reach out his little paw towards me at the moment. The same worries I had yesterday and the day before. That no help is coming. And then I'm worried that I won't have the ability to make it. I exhausted all the shelter options. 99% of them were just referrals. 1 or 2 places that weren't referrals. They haven't gotten back to me. I'm not sure what to do. I don't know where to go, who to call, where to look. Sometimes he makes like he's about to barf up the food that he's eaten, but I don't think he's physically capable, which is well enough. It keeps the food in him and digesting. If I go quiet, it's because I'm looking at him and making sure he's okay. Occasionally he'll do like a little movement. But let me think. Is there anything? No, that's pretty much the events of today. I'll have to spend tonight getting set up for going to that job tomorrow. Worrying about if Gon will still be alive when I get back home. Hoping that he will be. I have to hope that he will be. And, I guess in the background, I'm happy all my other cats have their health and that they're doing okay. But, just keeping on with sort of low pressure, low impact, low pressure creative activities. Just listening to music, writing down any ideas that come to my head, just playing some videos in the background, getting some input. Those parts where I wish it was like a movie, and this is the part of the story where someone shows up, the miracle chance encounter, or something like that. But I'm just kind of resigned that it's probably just going to be, might just end up being real life. And you know what? I'm afraid that if I say that it'll set things that way. I want the chance encounter and all that, but realistically, no one's gonna come. Be nice if something unrealistic would happen. At least from my perspective. I hope there's something bigger than me chaining together all kinds of events that I can't see that make sense, but I'm just too small, When you're one smaller part of a bigger whole and you can't see how the whole system is working or how the whole setup, every little piece leads to every little other piece. the chances of things occurring simultaneously or happening a certain way. Things set in motion you can't even see. It doesn't make sense to you at that scale, at that smallness, at that size, but it makes more sense when you zoom out and you can see how things lead to other things. I could take some of that. Something happening in the background like that I can't see or notice. Oh. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I forgot to mention that the other person reset their email password without warning me, and apparently set it to biometrics only. So there's no physical password. I don't know if that's true or not. I'll have to research that later. But yeah, that signed me out of anything that their email was being used for, which includes the groceries. So now I can't get into the grocery app to select food to purchase and have delivered to this place. Signed out of Amazon as well. Signed out of grocery order. The person said that their account was being accessed by someone somewhere, but then they also reset their email password to a completely different service, unrelated, and I don't imagine that the person was going after both of those. I think the person probably mainly just did it to make it so I didn't have access to either of them. Looks like the person just kind of canceled their whole subscription to Walmart and the whole grocery order thing, which leaves us here in an odd spot. So I'll just have to text up a list of all the groceries and send it out to them. That's its own worry then. See what happens with that, I suppose. As I was putting this together, it happened. Around 6:35, 6:40, he started meowing all of a sudden with more energy than he usually had, and he seemed really uppity all of a sudden. But it was just a last burst of energy. And he started meowing to let me know that the time was coming. I thought maybe he was meowing because he had to go use the restroom, so I took him to the litter box. But then, as he was standing a little bit, he collapsed. And then I picked him up. And at around 6:45, Gon breathed his last. And he's dead now. Gon has passed away. I've got him wrapped up in the blanket. And I held him during his last few breaths. And then that was it. My little Gon has died. Though I'm spraying some of that peptide spray on a spot where he peed. And though I do wish I hadn't had taken him to the litter box. That way he wouldn't have had to collapse, but at the very least I pulled him out and I held him during those last few moments. As he went limp and his eyes glassed over. Oh, God. Oh, God. Waxing and waning and fading away, the moonlight's glow does and disappear. Moonbeam in darkness, moon gleam in the shade. Oh, when will I see my dear moonlight again? Waxing and waning and fading away, the moonlight's glow does and disappear. Moonbeam in darkness, moon gleam in the shade. Oh, when will I see my dear moonlight again? Da-dum, ba-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum. Ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum. Ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-dum. Dum-da-dum. Ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum.